Okay. Hello everybody. It's Fireball Studios. I didn't promise. I said I was going to make a tutorial for Roll20. I made one last week, realized I'm terrible at making tutorials, and Roll20 has about a million things that you can do, but aren't needed for a simple game. So I figured I would redo it again, but this time I'm only going to show you the stuff I know, because I think it's just enough that you need to make just a simple game. You don't need to make it right. Later on you can like get into the more complex stuff, some of the back setting stuff, some of the macros. But for now I figured I would just take it one step at a time. Let's just set the game up. Just show you how to set the game up, and then from there we'll get into other things. When you start a new game, you load on Roll20, click play, whatever. You're ready to start your new game. First off, just give it a name. You can give it tags if you want. I would recommend making the character sheets. So all you gotta do is type in 5e. It'll make you a character sheet. I haven't checked out these other ones. Just use the sheets by Roll20. This is what it's gonna look like. It's a basic character sheet. It's easy to fill out. It's got these really cool back settings you can use later on. That's all you need to start it. Okay. Roll20 is loaded up. You're in your game. This is your space. You just loaded in. You don't know what to do. What I normally do first, setting up the map. Up here, little blue tab. Click this down. This is the only page. This is where all of your map layers are really going to be at. First things I like to do when I'm first making a map, before I even put anything on it, I go to the settings. Legacy lighting. Big thing for your DM. Fog of War, enable it, turn it on. No reason not to have it on. You can lower the opacity of it, so if let's say your game's not coming up for a few months, and you're trying to prep everything, get everything ready, turn it on anyways, turn your opacity all the way down. I like to leave mine halfway through, just in case my players get on here and I forgot to put it back on. So see, gave this film over it, this gray film. But now if your players if you accidentally pull your players over to it, at least it's shielded. You don't hide anything. Page details, this is where you're going to change anything. How many pixels wide, pixels high. These are squares. Imagine these over here on the left, these are your squares. These are pixels. I know when I make a map, I give people both options. You can either put it in by pixels, or you can put it in by squares. I like to take the background, make it a gray. I think it's easy for the players to see. And then normally you're gonna leave your grid cell size just 5 foot. If you're playing just typical 5e. If you have a bigger map, you could set it up to 10. Just like, let's say you have it's a larger map, you don't want to have to make and put up a huge map. You can make a smaller map, make the sizing smaller. Where you can turn the grid on or off, make it squares or hexes. Your measurement table, because there is a ruler tool. And cell width I'm not really mess with, leave it at 1, it's fine. Color, I like to make mine white afterwards and make the opacity all the way up, so what you see looks like that, pretty much. This is with Fog War on. I'm going to put it on opaque just for this. So this is what your players would see. This is just the background. We're going to put a map over it. Yeah. So this is what you would see until you put something down on it. I think it's a little bit easier to look at. So we've set up our grid. You can put audio on it. We use Discord for audio. So we have two bots. We have RhythmBot 1 and RhythmBot 2. One of them will play whatever themed music in the location we're in. The other one will play a themed atmosphere. I'll try and put the link in the bottom of who he is for the atmosphere music. Actually, I think I have him. It's Michael Gelfie? Gelfie? I'll just pull up his YouTube real quick while we have it. This is who I use for Ambience. He's got a ton of stuff. It's all out there for free. It's all like 3 hours long. So it's almost long enough to be longer for the Discord bots to not be able to handle it. It's the perfect length. It's got a bunch of really cool stuff out here. just go over here and search it. We typically we'll use the winter. We use the winter a lot in a recent campaign. There's arena crowd, just Hydra music. This is a short video, but it's we just put it in there a whole bunch, and it just circulates. Getting back to Roll20, so you can put music in here. I have no idea how. Never mess with it because we do the music ourselves. So after everything is set up, you've got everything set. If you wanted this color to be darker, you could make it darker, like that. I think it's nice. It's kind of like a dark mode, despite Roll20 not having a dark mode, which I think it should by now. So I guess that's enough for setting up your map. Your map is now prepped, really. Now you're ready to put stuff on it. So what I do, come over here, you go to your library. All these free assets are pretty good. You can search for things like, here's some freebies. And they'll kind of hover. There's like cavemen, and that, and cavemen, and a beholder being ridden, been ridden by a mind flayer. There's things you can use. I think you may have to pay for these. No, you don't. Okay, so you have a good amount of options. You really could use these. You have dungeon tiles. Just kind of take them and stretch them. So if bare minimum, if you're like, I can't find a map to suit my needs, or I've got to come up with something on the fly, you can use these. I just make my own maps. So for a good example, this was a bad example. I'm trying to see, where's Banshee? Okay, Banshee will also have a grid. Do I have one that doesn't have a grid? Okay, I made this map a long time ago, but it doesn't have a grid. Okay, there it goes. So when you put anything in, it's going to come in as this size, and you're going to have to stretch it out. I always try to put the size in the file if I can. I rename it so it's 45 by 30. So now I know I can go up here, go to my settings, change my width to 45 by 30. Save it. It's a wider map. Pull it down into this corner. And if I made it the right way, I did not. Ooh, that looks horrible. Oh, it's just loading still. Okay. And then pull it up. This is what it's going to end up looking like. Right now, it's considered a token. Anything you pull in is going to be a token. What is it doing? Oh my god, it does not like. Okay. I made this on an old map making software that I do not like anymore, but it works for the grid. So anytime you pull something over, it's going to be on a token layer, meaning you can move it around. Your players cannot, but you can move it around. So if you're playing, and see how they're snapping to the grid here, you're playing, you're moving things around, you accidentally grab your map, you move your map around. So as soon as you pull your map in, right click it, and put it on the map layer. Now your grid will fall over top of it. Your players can see your grid, and they can kind of put their characters. It's a little bit easier, it makes more sense when you're moving things around. But that's it for just making your map. I think I'll cut the video here and I'll make them into sections. So just setting up your map, this is it. You've pretty much done it. Some more things we can do with it. I'm trying to think. If you, let's say you have multiple pages and you're trying to get your players over. So I'll do this real quick, and we'll just do this. This is part of the. This is partially for the campaign of Salt Marsh. Oh wow, it almost fit perfectly. Let's say your campaign starts out, and this is the map. Wherever the player's ribbon is what your players are seeing. So, and you can move these around as well. The campaign starts, your players just load in. I want them to be able to see this map of Salt Marsh first. Make sure this tab, you can move the tab very easily. You just click and hold it, move it around. It's locked on that. Now, you can click this. You're the only one that's on this battle map. They have not. wherever players are is where the players are looking. So clicking in on this again, I accidentally used the wrong one. So this is what they'd be able to see. And same thing, your opacity, your fog of war is not enabled. Remember that, anytime you make a new one, it's not enabled. Always enable it. It really doesn't matter for like a map like this. One they should see, one you're not hiding anything. If you wanted to hide something, what we would do is we'd use the freehand tool. And we'd be like, you don't know the name of this river yet, so we blank that out. Just, yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much just for setting up your map. It's very easy. There can be a lot to it, but